8 VOD viewers. Give us a minute. I need to do the announcements. Is this the first stream of the year? Let me check. Live. Can I search my own live streams? B++. The last one was 4 months ago. That can't be right. Hello, Sloth. Has it really been 4 months? Maybe. This is stream of the year. Lucky you're here. Hey, I was just double checking. I wasn't sure if I was misremembering, but it can't have been that long. C++. Holy shit. I'm sorry. It's been 4 months. I don't know what happened. One moment. Good lord. Well, I hope you're all doing well. Time. Yeah, I also haven't worked on it in 4 months. My last Git push was like 3 or 4 months ago. I keep meaning to, and I just haven't gotten around to it. I don't know what happened. I blinked. I blinked and I lost it. Let me adjust this camera. That's fine. Now you can see my lovely Eurocamp t-shirt. There you go. So they can see my big muscles, actually. Time to restart the project again. No. So let me show you what changed since last time. I added I'm GUI, this thing. You might recognize it from, like, was it Reshade? Or Ship of Harkinian? Or just about any C++ project that needs a debug menu. I added this, and then I just put the project down. It's really cool. This is just some demo, some demo examples I nicked off their repo. There's loads of different things you can do. And I figured it would be much easier for me to tie stuff, like if I want to fiddle with the players, I want to tweak like the players' movement speed and whatever, it's easier to tie it to something in a debug menu and constantly quit and reboot. Especially because I already had JSON serialization set up. I could just have a save and load button in here or an apply and then just respawn the character or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of it. I don't remember anything else. I don't know what it was like when I last streamed. You can collide with stuff. It looks decent. You know, you don't clip through stuff. You can shoot. Although shooting when you move to the bottom left or the bottom right kind of looks weird. If your mouse cursor goes off the screen, you always shoot up. I don't know if there's really a fix to that. I guess I could always keep the mouse position on me. And if it suddenly switches to the top of the screen, well, whatever, who cares? I had a few things I wanted to do today. One of them was to see if I can pop the player variables in here, if that's even worth doing. If it's easy and simple, maybe I'll just pop it in. Maybe I'll write something that lets me shove any set of components in here. That'll be handy. At least have a look at it. I don't remember how complicated this is. I don't think it's that difficult. I worked a lot on like Android and iOS, and we did a lot of like fucking compose and what's the fucking Swift UI, like all that shit. Like I think this is all roughly the same sort of thing. Hey Tommy, what am I adding air shots? There's air shots. It's the only thing to shoot actually. There's no enemies. That gets me to my other point. I was thinking about we can spawn in some enemies again and then just test around. I've had loads more thoughts about this game, even though I haven't been programming it. I have a fucking immense note on my phone, which should probably be in a more serious setting. But I've got this fucking scroll list worth of shit on my phone of notes. I don't know why. One of the first comments is bizarre fever dream of an idiot. I guess I had high thoughts about this. But yeah, I mean, I've had loads of thoughts about Holy shit, I had some cool ideas in here. Girls in suits are cool. There's some useful notes in here. Break core OST. Basically, we're making fucking Nuclear Throne, alright? We're just gonna start there, and then add our spice and sugar and everything nice. I had more thoughts about how I was going to do the sprites and stuff as well. Obviously, right now I've just got this back sprite. I think at some point we'd worked on like angled sprites, so as you flew left or right, it would tilt. I think what I'm going to do eventually is just have a facing to the right from the front, facing to the right from behind, and just flip it horizontally. So I need to design characters that are semi-symmetrical, and then that saves me a lot of time. Whatever. Let's move on. You've seen what I've got here. Let me just refamiliarize myself with this fucking project. You can see everything, right? Oh, I think so. Yeah, 2 years ago is when I... Is this a different project? 2 years ago, 2023. No, that's something else. Oops. Oh, that might just be git blame. That's just git blame going off. You can see my bank details. Can you? That's rough. I'm just let me just think for a moment. I think everything was set up in main, if I remember correctly. And I'm guessing we just had a... Or maybe not in main, maybe in game. Here we go. So this I'm GUI demo, this thing here. Out bank details now. I mean, it doesn't... Even if you had my bank details, it wouldn't matter. I've got 2FA. So that's okay. Why are you angry? Fix a failable, clang tidy, miscues internal linkage. That's fine. Basically, you set up a frame, you end the frame, and in between those two tags, you can add sections. So I think with begin, you can add shit like sliders. It's all very simple. And the library handles all the logic. You literally just tie some type of UI element to some variable. Like angle here is just some float. If we have another look at this. Tommy, you recognize this this library, right? If you're still there. This debug menu I've got here, you recognize this from Final Fantasy, I'm sure, or Reshade. Oh hey, Shigeli. Birmingham in less than 2 weeks. Yo, hope you have fun, dude. Hopefully no angry people there with knives. The UK's pretty safe. I wouldn't worry about it. But yeah, you can see here. I can even show you on your own screen. So you can see on the VOD, apple, for example, apple, banana, cherry, kiwi, whatever. This is just in a big list box, and it's literally just declared as a list item. Reshade, reframework, yeah. That's all this library is. This is I'm GUI. It's really easy to use. So let me think for just a moment. We had I wanted as an example to show off adjusting the player. So if we have a look at our components, and then we had all the player stuff. Somewhere I'm guessing we spawn a player. Let me see what that was. I don't really remember. We had something like a factory, right? Hang on. Entity factory, and then somewhere in here will be player. Spawn character, okay. So all of the... You can still see, yeah. All of the components in here, give or take, I'd like to have in one of those I'm GUI menus. Purely for debug, and because it's purely for debug, we can get away with some janky shit. I think what I will do is... We had a console system that we didn't really use, right? I think what we can do is make use of that. So whenever we hit apply in I'm GUI, we use the console to get the current player stats or to update them. As for how we apply that to the actual player, that will be a little bit more annoying. That'll be the case of finding this particular entity. I'm sure I got a reference to the player somewhere. Wherever this happens, I guess. Maybe I can hit F12. No, what about Shift F12? Systems manager. All right, so we do actually put the player character into the registry, which is like this big global collection that we can access at any point. So that'll make this nice and easy. Okay, let's have a look. Pop this on the side. Will I? Yes. Let me think for just a moment. We have our game. And then somewhere in here we've got I'm GUI. So I'm going to pop in here somewhere. This is where we'll have the player character stuff. Does I'm GUI end with end? I guess so, actually. I think it's begin to end. So I'm going to pop a new begin and end in. This is my first time using the library, by the way, so we're gonna make this up together. Let's see. So we've got a transform. I don't think I need to modify that. Collision, I don't think we need... Oh, actually, collision radius. Maybe that's something we can fuck around with. We've got this character data in here. Actually, I think we technically just want to be able to modify everything in the character data. That'd be handy. Yeah, because we've already extracted everything we care about into character data. So what I can say is... yeah, we do things as easy as possible. We won't touch the character data structure as we currently have it. We won't be worrying about that. We're just going to rewrite stuff in memory as is. So just, you load up the game, it loads up character data as normal, and then we can fuck around with it live, hit apply, but then none of that gets saved. When it reboots, it will go back to the defaults. We can start with that. In which case, let's have a look in here and see what stuff we want to care about. Character data, so we'll just have a auto overwrite character. How do I do variable names in this? Is it underscores? What do I do? No, okay. Character data equals one of these. I'm pressing down in this and it's not going where I want it to do. That's fucking annoying. Alright, let's see. This keyboard's a little annoying to type on, I'm going to be honest. Don't tell Wooting that. Let's see. I'd like to be able to load the character data as is. Does this only load once at the start, I'm guessing? No, this runs every single update, which is quite frequently. Okay, somewhere in here we're going to be using the registry, right? Context. Here we go. Somewhere in here we're going to be getting the player character. Local player? Alright. This is easy. Let's have a look. So we're going to be grabbing the player. Character data right now, we're going to populate it with whatever the local player's data is. Does local player hold on to a character data? Why are you angry at me? You don't have a registry. Where is the registry? Oh, it's because this is a game class. Right now, this I'm GUI demo thing is not. If I move you to static, do you suddenly get access to your... No, hang on a moment. You're just an unnamed thing. Okay, I think that's the only place you are, aren't you? Well, let's do this properly then. So I'm going to have a... What are you? Just a void, right? Void, I'm GUI update for, oh shit, I don't use capitals. Man. Okay. So we're gonna have a void called update I'm GUI. And we're gonna call that in here. We're not gonna be using the demo anymore, but I'll keep it around because I think it's handy. And we're gonna have a game in here. Bow, bow, bow. Was it called game? Capital G. Capital G. Okay. And in here, we're going to have a new frame. We're going to copy in this player crap. And the rest of this, I'm just going to comment out for now. Not the neatest thing, but I'd like to reference it while we're working here. Let's see. We have a new frame, we have our player, we're getting our character data. Local player, what do you have? You have a reference to a player entity. Guessing you don't hold on to this character data thing. Where are you being constructed from? Asset manager? You're loaded from the asset manager. All character data. Characters equals. And then that's just something sitting in asset manager. And then where are you accessed from? Load character select. Okay. And then what happens on character select? Character's eye. So somewhere game start happens with a character. And where are you called from? Can you hear the music okay, chat? Or do I need to raise it a little bit? So systems manager.game start gets called with this character. Alright. So currently we are not saving this character information anywhere. Which I can quite simply do. Oh, actually, last selected character? Oh, we do actually have that. It's handy. Oh, hang on, this is weird. We standard move it to local... Hey, manners. Right here at the start, we move character data into last selected character data, yet we are spawning character here with character. That's weird to me. I guess I don't necessarily understand how standard move works. I thought it would have left... Is this maybe a bug? What happens if you do standard move? What happens to the thing you're moving from? Or is standard move just the same as standard copy, but it marks the previous data as to be deleted? Let's pop this in here for now. Oh wait, why didn't you like this? Honk's character data. Oh yeah, you're in here. Yeah, that's fine. You're standard optional, so. How do you get the? Is it value, right? Yeah. Okay. Just in case it crashes, we might have to return this, but this feels like a bug to me. Okay. So we do actually hold on to this last selected character thing. Currently it is public. So do we have access to Systems Manager in game? Ooh, maybe we do. Hang on a moment. Last selected character. Hang on a moment. Dot value. Value or... How about this? If... I think you can do this. I think you can do this. You're angry because you're not being filled, but this means if the player character actually exists, we can start filling out our information. And character data is actually all we've got, so we don't need to worry about this. Now let me think for a moment. Last selected character here is a standard optional of character data. We're assigning it to some const auto. I'm assuming this does a copy. I need to remember how auto works in this case. I have a feeling it's copy. Hang on, in this case, is character a... No, it's fine, okay. So, we've got our character data in here. We're saving in last selected character. let's see, what information do we even want to deal with? We've got name, description, don't care, info, don't care, UID, don't care, don't care, don't care. I think it's this stuff. Collision radius, respawn time, all this crap. So, in regards to these, I guess we just want to have a slider for now. Why not? Don't necessarily know what the min and max should be for these things, but that's fine. Beautiful. I'm gonna raise my music a little bit. I don't know what a good default is for these, so for now I'll just set it to like 25, and then we'll have a look what we're currently using. I think we had a file called data, right? Oh, we had a folder called data. And we're storing this, so let's see. Respawn iframes is between, currently it's at 2000, so I guess it's milliseconds. Let's have it go up to like 10. That should be fine. You don't need the decimal place, I'll be real, but whatever. Shot interval is 100. So how about you go up to 2000? I don't know. 1000. Movement force is currently 500, so let's try 2500. I don't know. I'm making these numbers up right now. Movement speed 400. Mass. Let's try 200. Collision radius. Currently it's 0.18. So how about we go up to like 5? Okay. In this case, we are trying to assign this to a const thing. That makes sense. We actually do want to modify it. In which case you're angry because you want to be an arrow. We all do, buddy. Okay. Fine. So this lets us directly modify last selected player. What you wouldn't give to be an arrow. I was doing my Warhammer earlier. Have you seen these fucking Arwen models from like 20 years ago? This thing's beautiful. Not that it will ever be focused on with this camera, but I was gonna build like, you can't really see, but I've got this like cork sticking up here to act as like rocks. I was gonna make like some water effects, like she's going through like the river to Rivendell. You can get what I mean? So like the horse is going through. I was gonna have like water coming out, I don't know. What about fucking Saruman? Look at this bastard. Whatever. We'll make the waifus. That's okay. Why are you angry at me? Can be made const. Crazy. Okay. I'm not. I wish you would stop being quite so pedantic. Well, fine. Let's see. Is there a way to know if the most recent, if any of these were changed? How about we just have a button called apply? Let's make things easy for ourselves. There must be a way to have a button. Click on this. So I got all these examples from this link I've got in here. So let's just see, is there a button? Button. I am GUI button. Okay. Ah, here we go. Oh, it's literally just if imgui.button. That's easy. So if the button's pressed, this is going to be called apply. This is where things get a little annoying. We need to try and modify the player as is. I'm guessing I can actually do this. These should modify last selected character for me. You can see, right? Yeah. Hey, Cake, can you add third parties and bad connection? Buddy, you think I could write good connection? I'd be amazed. Bad connection, you just might as well say, can you write connectivity? Alright, anyway, we've got a local player in here. Who's attached to a player entity. And what we can do here is using that entity, we can find whatever of these is attached to that player entity and adjust them directly. Now, I don't know if that'll actually change the player. I'm trying to remember how these things are linked. Let me think. I'm imagining this will be in... Yeah, local player's just sitting in there. When we spawn in a character, game start, we spawn a character with the entity factory, like so, and we add various components to this entity. Alright, for a good start, let's have a look at our, what was it called? Damage system? Culling system? Is that it? Health system? Maybe it's culling system. Somewhere in here we adjust the player's health. So this is excluding the player. Here we go. So for every entity, for every thing in our registry that is a player and has health, we do this. I'm wondering if there's an easier way for this. I guess it doesn't have to be a for loop. We could just do registry.view on the player. Let's have a look. How about we look for player? This is getting. Culling system, I think, is just about the only place we actually modify stuff. I think maybe the action responder system, this thing. Oh, you can just modify it directly. Interesting. For every entity, registry.view. Okay. I don't think there's a simple enough way for this, so let's just do this for now. Go to our game. So we've got a local player in here. I don't know if this is really what we need. What I actually want... Oh, fuck's sake. So let's see. For every entity with health that is also a player. You're angry at me. You're unused. That's fine. I guess this kind of only really makes sense if there's multiple players on the screen. We're not modifying multiple players. Can I just do registry.view like first? There must be a way to just do registry.view, right? This should do. If registry view is empty, what do you return? I can't read that. I think we can just do registry.view and then that returns a basic view, and then we can say a u empty. So if we say const auto player health, for example, equals registry.view on this, and then we can do dot get, maybe. Returns the components assigned to the given entity. I mean, I guess we can do this, because you're a local player. No, that's not it. I don't want to do get, I want to do dot front. No, this isn't it. Well, where are we doing this view in this other place? Maybe we just do it a dot each? No, that's not it. I guess we can just use this code, even though it's a little messy. There might be an easier way to do it, but for now, let's just do it and then fix it in post, huh? So we want to go to view that involves players and health. Doesn't have to be const, I guess we're modifying it. It exists. Can I inline this? Or is that illegal? I'm just fucking around. I don't think you can do this syntax, or at least it's done differently. So this is player health. You don't get. We want to get health. Okay. At this point, we've got a reference to the player health. Now, we could theoretically modify it. Although I guess we're not doing health. We're going to modify its like transform or whatever this shit is. Physics. I think we're in there now. So if we have a look in Entity Factory, maybe where was it? Spawn player. Physics. Movement input. Let's do that. Or collision. That's the first one. That's fine. So we want everything in the registry that is the player's collision. And we are just going to do collision radius equals. Now you're angry at me. Do I need to dereference you? Collision in this case is a const. I need to unconst you, ideally. How do I modify this then? They appear to be a const reference. Does get always return a const reference? I'm guessing that via get it does. Maybe we have to do put. How do we normally update this stuff? Let's have a look. We have culling system, I guess, where we reduce their health. By making it an auto ref, do you remove the constness? I have a feeling that that's possible. Health in this case. Yeah, maybe that's, we need to use const or ref. In which case, oh no, you still have const. I know you can do cast stuff. You can do a const cast or whatever. I don't think that solves this here. So currently we're doing a registry view over here. What's this? We've got an each. We've got our entity. Here. They're immediately not const here, so maybe it's the way I'm producing my view. You're not being used right now. I suppose maybe it's this view that's... There's a different way to write this. We do this. Although I guess we needed this to get the front. Is that really necessary? Yeah, in this case, I think this is okay. But maybe if we make you a ref, you're angry at me. Non-const L. Okay, that makes sense. Alright. Nah, that's not it. He's angry at me. What's up? Can I assign collision? Hang on for a moment. Collision here is still const. View.get is still giving me a const thing. Is it because first entity is const? You are. If I just keep adding more ampersands, maybe it'll fix itself. No. Each in this case is an iterable. Is he const in here? Const size storage. Although it just seems to be a basic storage of collision and entity. This stuff's complicated. We can also just do a try get, actually. Maybe that makes sense. Hang on a moment. Maybe I don't need this nonsense. Maybe I can just get the local player entity, assume that there's just one, and then do a registry try get on it. Hang on a moment. Const, okay, we can get transformative now, that's fine. What's up? Oh, I don't have the entity here. Okay, no, that makes sense. Sorry, I misthought. Okay, how are we currently doing this? How come you are non-const? The constness of the components is as requested when they do each. In this case, are you assuming that you should be const? Should I instead be using this structure? Hang on, I'm losing it for a moment. Yeah, I'm currently just, even though it's kind of silly, I'm avoiding writing a for loop, even though there's only one element in it, just because it feels weird to have a for loop. Do we need to do this each thing? I feel like we don't. Can we just do, Is there another way to say, like, is the view empty? We just say view.begin isn't equal to view.end, and then we don't have to worry about this each thing. Oops. Okay, I think that's correct. I'm guessing that the view gives us a set of some kind. Oh, you're const. Okay, in which case we're doing copies here, so of course it's fine. I'm assuming this is doing copies, in which case this is completely pointless. But yeah, I see why that's compiling just fine. Yeah, you want to be a ref. I still don't fully understand the ref thing. This is not something I come across really at work. Now, ideally, you guys would be refs too, but you're angry about that. Unless I can make you regular refs. I guess view.front is automatically a ref. Can I, instead of assigning, can I just do... You don't like that, right? Returns a const value. Yeah, so I guess we can't just modify view.get directly. We have to do registry.inplace. Does that overwrite what's there? Now, how on earth are you being modified in here? You're a ref. I would like it to drop the const qualifier, yeah. Maybe .get is just the incorrect... Is there somewhere else we're modifying this? Like the camera, maybe? I mean, here you're just doing registry.get on something and then calling stuff on it. Maybe it's not in game. Maybe there's somewhere else we're doing the camera stuff. Something about the way that this syntax is written is removing the const qualifier. But I don't fully understand how that's happening. How is what I'm doing here differing? I'm doing view.each, I guess. So maybe we can do view dot each dot. Does dot begin? It gives you a pointer to the first one, I guess, but it's not actually the first one. It's just an iterator. I'm trying to work out how to write this nicely. So essentially we have a view. We're validating that there's elements in it. Is there a view.size? There's storage. Size hint. Size hint. Estimates the number of entities. I wonder how accurate that is. Okay, well let's just keep using our view. And in this case we have an entity, which I think should be fine. But maybe instead of get, there's a different way to deal with this. Instead of view.get, I guess we could... Maybe the way we're calling this is wrong. I know we can get stuff out of the registry. It just feels a little odd. Although I guess this is just debug code, so... It's whether or not we start modifying other stuff this way. Or maybe we just iterate over it as if we have multiple players. I think we're maybe overthinking this. Who cares? I haven't spent too long on this. So for every entity with health that's also a player, we fuck with it. I think we've this thing's overstayed its welcome. Why are these named back to front? I guess you always get the entity, and then the first thing that you care about in this case is the health, so we can have it as the collision. Yeah, we've been overthinking this. Who cares? Don't overthink things. Let's say character.collision radius. And you're angry because narrowing from float to layers? Oh, no, not mask. I want your radius. Alright. So we've now successfully changed the character's collision radius. Maybe. What I don't know is if the debug overview actually reads that. That was an error. What's wrong? Oh, am I missing an end black? Oh. Oh. It reads this back every single frame, huh? okay. So at least I know that's working. Could I just modify it directly then? Maybe just every single frame we update it. Hang on a moment. We get rid of this apply button. Sorry, lad. This might be slow as balls. Who cares? It's running on a fucking mega computer. Oh, look. You see that? It's getting overwritten by something when I let go. But, you know. Oh, fuck. Oh, it actually worked. Oh, hang on. If I stand next to a wall. Holy shit. That's sick. Oh, wow. Dude, the collision detection code's actually really fucking good. Holy shit. I'm amazed that it could resolve that. Holy shit. Isn't that awesome? Oh my god. Hello, Pog Dog. Doge. That's fucking sick. Sorry. Okay, why is it not being saved? Let's just double check that. Ooh, I guess last selected character is not being updated. That makes sense. Okay. Why not? Because you are a copy. Let's see if this fixes it. Wow. It's like it's my job or something. Look at this shit. This is fucking awesome. Off we go. I don't know if you guys think this is awesome or really stupid. I kind of think it's awesome. Sorry, I like, yeah. Astounded by a basic fucking slider working. So I think 5 is way too big for this. Maybe we change it to like 2 maximum. It's very awesome, yeah. Getting warm in here, no? Alright. Let's do the other shit then. Keep it simple, stupid. Just for loop over a single element. Who gives a shit? It's debug code. It's fine. So, I don't know what value changing the respawn frames are. But why not? Where are you being stored? Where is that used? Entity factory? Respawn? God, dude. Entity component system is amazing. Oh, it's in his health. Okay. So, I mean, there's nothing stopping me from modifying the player's health in here. You know? I don't know why I'm defaulting the lives to 1. Where is my Jason? Oops. Your health is not defined in here. Okay. I guess the player only has 1 health right now. Not a big issue. Okay. Let's just change the respawn time. Yeah. Oh, I'm stupid. So we want involve time remaining and default to be character dot. Is it this one? Oh. A little silly, but I think this is okay. So that's collision radius done, respawn time done. Let's do the weapon, I guess. Why not? So we want to get the WAP on, of course. Weapon dot. What do we have in here? Why are you angry at me? Oh, I keep doing this. What can we modify? Bullets to fire, cooldown. We want fire. We want shot speed and shot interval. We just want weapon shot speed. And you are not shot interval, you are shot speed. Alright, so now we can change the player's weapons and stuff. Let's do movement, force, movement speed, and maybe mass is also under there. Is that physics? No, physics is its own. We can do physics separately. Should be easy enough. So we want physics, physics, physics dot mass. Is mass the only thing we care about? I guess so. In the mass, and then finally movement speed and force, which is under movement input. So we're gonna have force and speed. And I think that's it. Let's try it out. Isn't it awesome that it took 50 minutes for us to write the first thing and then 5 minutes to write all the rest? Software engineering. Alright, let's see. So we can adjust the collision radius as we like. Which is fun. Seem to be blinking eternally. I guess I'm just infinitely respawning. Respawn iframes is currently ms, so maybe it's not being shrunk down to seconds properly. Yeah, look. Oh, every single frame the character's getting their full respawn iframes. Okay. So this is their current shooting stuff. I've got this in full screen. Can you still see that? Okay, well, whatever. This is weapon shot speed, shot interval. If I increase the interval, we fire less often. If we decrease it, we can fire like an infinite stream. Like an actual Toho boss. Wow. That's if you literally fire every single tick. So this is like 1 trillion times a second or whatever. Silly. I think we should adjust these numbers. I think 7 is way too much. But having a weapon that fires every second isn't so stupid. If you had like a rocket launcher or something. Weapon shot speed, you can change how fast it shoots. This is awesome. I'm guessing most things should actually be much higher. Like 25 kind of makes more sense. And then movement force, so this is the stuff I really want to fuck around with. If we max out the movement force, you see there's like next to no friction. You just instantly move around. If we reduce it to 0, I have no force. There's probably a divide in there. And then a low number is like we're on ice, which is horrible to control. This is something we'll probably fiddle with quite a lot. And this is kind of the main reason I wanted an ability to change this in-game. Just being able to slightly tweak this and see the immediate results is amazing. Just for like getting the vibe of a character. I just have a mouse up here. That feels pretty good. So something like 750, for example, I can now go to the game. I could have a save button. I'm not going to start fucking around with it. For now, I'm just going to have... I'm just going to go to my character, Jason, and just say, let's say, dither, your movement force is going to be 750. Based on testing. And that's sick. And now, actually, if I were to respawn... Oh, it doesn't reload the Jason, I guess. That's fine. We could change that. Maybe when you go to the main menu, it reloads all the data files. Oh yeah, movement speed, look at this. Zooming time. It actually starts fucking with the collision detection pretty badly. Unless you just tap it. That's good to know. So if you start moving insanely quick, this doesn't really work. If we go really slow. I kind of think the game might play better if we move a little bit more slower, because considering how we want this low resolution, it's not going to be like a big dodgy game. I think having like slightly slower movement might make more sense with maybe a bit more force. You basically want like what feels like one frame of build-up. You don't want the players to feel the friction. That usually feels pretty good. This feels alright. Maybe a little slower. So I kind of like to have upgrades for like movement speed and stuff be useful, right? How about 8? 8's a little slow. 8.8. That feels alright. There's also mass, by the way. The higher the mass, the longer it takes to get up to speed. And the lower the mass... Oh, that's fucked. The lower the mass, the lighter the character is. And it starts fucking really badly with physics. They don't expect a 13 kilogram item, I guess? Yeah, it starts moving really weirdly. So a lot of this stuff is just tweaking. Honestly, a mass of like 50, 40? This feels pretty good. Whatever I've got here is good enough for now, so I'm just going to save these. What did we get to? Mass 40, force 1200. Mass 40, force 1200. Movement speed 8.8. Let's just say 9. We can always fiddle with this stuff in the future, but if I were to reload, it'll now load those files, and then here we are. Oh, no, this isn't. Did I not hit save? Oh, no, I did. Oh, no, 40 is what we changed it to. Yeah, so these are the numbers we just came up with. Just in the game as defaults. And again, I don't want to fuck around with serialization right now. We'll just leave it as is. We don't need to overcomplicate things. That's awesome. That's one thing done that I've really wanted to do. We could technically move this XY FPS thing to this debug screen. That wouldn't be so stupid. What I think I will do is change the respawn iframes thing, and quite simply, I'm going to keep a static int, and if it's not changed, then I won't update it. So I'm just gonna say, just in here. Let me try and remember how these static ints work. They're kind of weird. There's some syntax you can do in here. Oh, let's float. You should switch to Rust. But my game... Have you used Rust, Infused Lily? I've done a little bit of work with it, and I would say, good fucking lord, good luck with that. I don't even know how you'd begin to write something like Entity Component System in Rust, good lord. I'm sure there's a way to do it. I'm actually curious, are there Rust game engines? That borrow checker, this Bevy. That borrow checker must go fucking mad. Data-driven game engine. You use Arch. Oh, lovely. I used that for a bit with the Steam Deck. I had that as my PC for like a year. It was pretty good. I was getting annoyed with the Steam Deck because it... What's the word? Like the operating system is there's a fancy word for it, but every time there's an update, they basically wipe your changes. I can't think of the word for it right now, which I found kind of annoying. I understand why they did it for the Steam Deck, but I wanted to use it as a multi-purpose machine. Heavy game engine. I wonder how mature this is. There's some Godot way to use it. I'm surprised. I'd be really impressed if someone's able to write a decent game in Rust. That must take so fucking long. Alright, well anyway, we're here. Got a bit of a headache now. What am I doing? Oh, I think we also wanted to make the shot speed a little higher by default, right? We decided that they might look a little bit better if the shot speed was more like 25. Especially if we're going like more nuclear throne style on things. So maybe we go to interval, maybe not 50, interval. I don't know. Let's say 400 and shot speed 25. All right, cool. Our first balance. That's really... This is exactly something I've been wanting to do for fucking years. It really didn't take that long. This took like an hour or something just to get this basic framework set up. I mean, it took me a while to get ImGUI set up, I'll be honest. I was missing something with that, but I did that off stream months ago, so 0 time, right? It shouldn't take long. I was just stupid. I was missing something. I don't remember what. I think it didn't like how libdonut was capturing inputs or something. There was something really specific. I don't remember. Okay, let me think. I said I wanted to try and spawn in an enemy, right? How would you like to see that, chat? Let's see. We had some enemy stuff already. Let's have a look and see what we've already got. Somewhere in here we had a... Like, I do not remember what the enemies do. I think they stay completely still and shoot occasionally. Which is a pretty good start, let's be honest. I'm guessing that would be in the entity factory. We can just say spawn enemy. Registry.create enemy data. So you pass in an enemy type to spawn based on some data file, and you give them some health, based on enemy data, and then pop a bin. Okay. What data do we have? We have treasure mouse and kiwi copter, of course, if you're curious. How about we just add a button that spawns in an enemy somewhere on the screen? Maybe not on top of the player. Or where the mouse is. Well, maybe not where the mouse is. I think we could do that. Didn't need to end up working with the terminal in the end, though. Console, whatever. So this is the player stuff. Let's have a new one. Honestly, let's only be able to spawn in enemies if there's a player. It kind of makes sense to me. We'll have a new one called enemy. And we will... how do we want to do this? Do you want to spawn in an enemy randomly on the screen? How do you spawn something in... except for in the center? I guess you could just try and pick an XY on the screen. Like, if you want to be really fucking basic, like no real maths here. You just pick a random place on the screen, check the distance from the center, and if it's close, pick another one, and inevitably you'll get somewhere. And maybe for debugging, that's just fine. Maybe if not, don't spawn it in a wall. And then if it spawns outside the level, who cares? I don't know if I had a way to check for that. I guess I could maybe write something to check for a tile nearby. Like, I think inevitably we'll need something to spawn in enemies. Like, you know, if you hit a barrel of rats, and then you want a bunch of rats to spawn out of it, that would be handy. Let's see. I would like to have a button. Is it just an imgui button? If... I'm gonna give it the label spawn treasure mouth. I'll just say I need to pick a random X and a random Y, so I'll create a transform. We need a position and an enemy type. So where are you being called from? Okay. Oh, hang on, we've got a stage system. Is this being used? Oh, this system was from when we were going to do stuff on a timeline. Which we could still dig up again, but it seemed like a bit of a hassle. I still like the idea. The level was going to be like an Osu beat map, but instead of beats, it was spawning like enemies. But you know, if you kill them quickly, it will spawn the next wave faster, so there'd be like a skill-based thing. Still like that idea. Let's not worry about that for now. Let's just grab some of this shit and just pop them in here for now. So I'm gonna say we want to spawn a treasure mouse. We don't care about this stuff. We should have stage... We don't actually care about stage data, do we? No, we don't care about that. No, we don't care about any of this, actually. Hang on. We want an enemy type of treasure mouse. I'm going to spawn in a... I'll just inline that. Spawn in a treasure mouse. And then here we'll have to somehow ask the stage system to... not do anything. We don't care. We'll have to come up with a position. And the position is just a vec2. Although I guess we can make a vec... Yeah, here we go, okay. Rand X and rand Y. We want random floats. Let's just say 0, 0 for now. Might as well do this. Oh, I don't equals and curly braces, sorry. I have X3 actually. Sorry if I'm doing equals with this. I'm trying to use the curly braces more. Okay. We need to pick a position on the screen. We need to have a random somewhere in here. So where are we currently randoming? Whoops, I just hit some keyboard shortcut. Random. I don't know you is using it. Let's just grab one from here. Game, you're inevitably going to need random floats, right? We are using ECS, yeah. Exactly the problem you're solving for now. Spawning the farthest from anything else. Well, it's not directly the problem I'm solving. I'm being a little lazy. So I'm just building a little debug button where I could just tap, and somewhere on the playable screen it spawns a enemy. Now I'm thinking about it, I could just get the player's position and then add a random amount to it. That will do for me. I don't think that necessarily solves your problem, because this is purely because I want to build the enemy, if that makes sense. I want to work on the enemy system. It's not been touched in months. It's very basic. So just being able to spawn something in will be nice. I don't care so much about where it is, but what are you thinking? Spawning the farthest from anything else. Spawning the farthest from anything else. What are you trying to do exactly? What's your problem? You have some entities on the screen and you want to spawn something as far away as possible. You could spawn something at 1 trillion XYZ. You know, what are your constraints? Also, hello, DF. Yeah, hang on a moment. I should just grab the player's position. And somewhere in here I'm updating the cameras, right? Yeah, let's just do this. We're going to get the local player here. We're going to view on the player. And then here's the player position. This might be handy for other stuff, so I'm just going to pop this up here. So if there's a character on the screen, I'm just going to keep track of this in some optional. It's a transform, so we'll just have a std optional of a transform called player reference. You're wrong, aren't you? Yeah, sorry, you should be on the... No, hang on, it should be a transform reference, right? That makes sense. You don't want it to spawn on top of another player. Hang on, let me get my music working. What's wrong with the approach I'm doing of just picking a position, and if it's near the player, picking a new one? Obviously, that could go on infinitely, but what are the odds of that, really? What? Sometimes that's a simplest is best, right? If you don't want it to spawn on top of another player, I'm assuming there is a mathematical way to... to add like a radius around a coordinate to some other coordinate. I don't know. I'm not so good at this linear algebra or whatever nonsense that would me. I would just keep picking positions until until you get a good one. It depends. Like you're making a game, right? You'll have quite a big screen, and you'll have a player somewhere. If you just pick a random spot, it's very unlikely it's going to pick 10 trillion times directly on top of the player, right? Or is your screen absolutely swamped with players and you're trying to spawn them in very niche places? Because what you could also do is pick the player's position, pick a random direction, pick a random distance, and add the player's collision hull to that. If that makes sense? That would probably work best. And then you could maybe clamp that to the screen. Can you see Paint? Are you still there, DF? If not, whatever. You have your player here. If you were to say, start with the player's position, and then pick some random angle. Let's say this angle. And then pick a random distance. You know, let's say you pick this distance. Well, you add the player's thing to that, so actually you spawn it here. Pick this distance, you add the player's collision size, you actually spawn it here. And then that will seemingly always spawn one away. If that makes sense? Think about it. I think that would work. In fact, I think that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So we've got player position. Let me think for a second. Can you not hold a reference? Sorry. You're not allowed to keep a reference in a standard optional? Okay. You can't have fucking null. Just make it a pointer. Yeah, I might be fucking around here. And then I need to dereference you. Ah, fuck, I don't remember pointer syntax. This isn't something I use all that often. Oh, I don't want dot position. I want to just assign it from here. Const value type. So you're currently a const thing. I would like to get your I'd like to make this be a pointer to that. How the fuck does this syntax work again? Ah, dearie me. I don't like using pointers too much. I'll be completely honest. It doesn't matter. We just make it a copy. Who cares? We're not modifying it. Oh yeah, just make it an STD optional. We'll just label it copy to be obvious. This is fine. Why am I worrying about these things? It doesn't. None of this shit matters. This is easy. Yeah, keep things easy. Keep things simple. This is the player position. So I'd like to make this position actually a copy of the player's position. I don't know if I have to explicitly do std copy. I don't remember the syntax for this either. I should remember this stuff. We want to do. Oh, actually, sorry. We want to get the value of this. This is fine for now. We've got the player's position. So we're spawning them in randomly for your purpose. You can set them to spawn in a set position or the player right. That's what I was thinking. Just to spawn them. Just 20 pixels to the right. But I'll be honest, I think at some point I'll want to spawn stuff off screen, so just having this written will be nice. Plus I wanted to do it. And I also think it might help with writing enemy behavior if they're kind of random. All this random stuff looks not so generic. I mean, this is just debug code, so I wouldn't worry about it. What do you mean for your thing? You do full random for now, and players can spawn on top of each other, colliding on the next frame. Up to 64 on an M and N grid. I have to Google that. Again, I'm not a big maths head. M and N grid. M and S grid? Delicious. Why am I getting Dutch Google search results? I can't use Google anymore. Alright, DuckDuckGo it is. I guess because I live in the Netherlands, ik spreek geen quote Nederlands, but no. I got M&N grid, I got the national grid. You do full random for now, and players can spawn on top of each other. So you're playing, you're making a game with many players, in which case this won't really work, yeah. Because you've got multiple players. You do full random for now, and players can spawn up on top of each other, colliding on the next frame. Why don't you just spawn them frame by frame? Or when you decide on all of their positions, sort through the list, and the moment one's colliding with another, shuffle its position. Oh, that sounds fucking... No, that sounds pretty stupid. M by N. No math here. M by N? It's just the phrase I haven't heard. M by N. I've just never heard N by N grid. That's my bad, I suppose. Is it a common thing? Oh, N by N grid is a structured two-dimensional matrix. It's used to organize, define, and navigate spatial patterns. Okay, so it is a maths term. I don't want to dive deeper in fucking AI mode. Take me to a real webpage written by a human being. Okay. This is something about a robot. I'm not reading a M by N probe. So at least in this picture I'm looking at, it's what they're using in this, like, Roomba. Whatever. Okay. Cool. Number of squares in a rectangular M by N grid. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. It's been a while since I've done maths. Rough theory. Yep. Alright, sizes of the 2D grid, yeah. Sorry for my ignorance. I normally work in embedded stuff, and we don't deal with graphics or maths formulas or anything. Just Bluetooth. So this is something I should probably know for game dev, I suppose. Your character positions. When you define a collision, is it based on them being within the same cell on the grid? So if your grid is like... Sorry for this terrible drawing. Why am I doing it like this? I don't know. But your grid's like this. Do you just say a player is colliding if it's in the same grid? Or do you have to check a specific coordinate and then a distance to another character? How much is going on here? Because what's wrong with, like, as you're spawning in a new player, you just check to see if it collides with everything before it. It'll be slow. You know, it's 64. It's potentially 64 times 64, or is it 64 to the power of 64 checks if you go through the whole thing? I don't really know the formula for that. Is that factorial? I don't know. There's another word for this. Come across it and slay the spire. Hey, Bowser. But yeah, if this just happens once at the start of the game, computers are very fast. 64 is not that big of a number. How long does it take to check 64 for X and Y collisions just once at the very start of the game, just to confirm that they're not all spawning on top of each other. How often are you doing this spawning? Because are you just saying that you generate a big grid, you just generate a bunch of random coordinates and then next frame they start colliding? Because presumably your collision detection is already checking for collisions each frame then, right? So that's already happening on a frame by frame basis, so you can just do it once before you've actually spawned them in, right? That should be okay. Do a pre-check as you're spawning them in. And to pick a new coordinate, you can just pick a new space on the screen by random. It could potentially take infinite time, is the issue. At which point, what's wrong with using some maths? If you're going to have up to 64 players, how random do they really need to be? Could you not spawn them on a precise grid and then just slightly shuffle them within a small space of each other so they appear random, but in reality they never had chance to collide? If that makes sense. You know how like when you're making a texture, right? And you're actually stuck within this space, but to make it look random, instead of putting your interesting part of the texture in the middle, you put it towards the bottom right, for example, so that when it duplicates, it's there. And then it also means that you can perform rotation, so it can be here, 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 here. It looks more random than just being in the center being rotated. Does that make sense? You think you would do occupied, fill it to where the live players are, and find the largest island of zeros. Initial spawning is not the problem. Respawning after death is. How... What game are you making, first of all? Is it like a... Oh, what was that IO game where you were like a big snake and you were going around the screen like eating each other and getting bigger? Was it one of those kinds of games? Like a browser game where people are constantly fighting and dying? Because... Again, I don't know how your collision detection code's working, but presumably it's already performing 1 million collision checks per tick. You know, maybe you're batching the screen, you're doing some kind of quad tree or something, but still. What's wrong with before you spawn the character in, you just pick a spot, check nearby for collision, if it's good, pick a different spot. And if it takes too many times, then spawn them in a known position. Or no, that doesn't really make sense either, because there could be a person there. You got hit by the Slay Spine hero activation. Hey everybody! How was my coffee today? It's better. I got the new coffee grinder in, and it is really, really nice. If you do proper multiplayer, it has to be dynamic, so random spawnings at random time. Well, it's presumably still... Oh, actually, yeah, you're going to be on a network, so... Is it running peer-to-peer? Or is there a single source of truth on a server? Because in which case the server hopefully would be running a lot of the code synchronously, right? What's wrong with the players spawning on top of each other as well? Does your collision detection system not push them apart? Or do they get stuck and stop moving? Because you know how in Binding of Isaac, for example, if a item gets too close to another item, let's say this blue item were to spawn on this green one, the collision detection would resolve it by pushing one to the right and one to the left. Does yours manage that, or no? Do they just get stuck and stop, which is also fine? Because you could. If you want to be hyper lazy, you could also do what like old games do, and just pick a direction randomly and just shove one of them out of the way on spawn. If you detect that there's a player character within the exact same collision space, just boot him out. Bonk. 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 What's the current issue with the players spawning on each other? Sorry, I also completely forgot what I was doing. I needed to pick a random... Wasn't there somewhere else I was already doing random radius, random angle, random radius? This is it. What was I... random angle? I'm using this for something. Oh, it's for the Roomba to do level generation. That's funny. Okay. Hmm. Okay, random radius, random angle. I don't think we need random radius, do we? Yeah, we do. I'm gonna do this. We're gonna need to get those. So random radius, random angle. Pop you here. You're gonna need to be included. And then where you're being done in construction time, I guess. Hey, I supply. How you doing? What are we developing? We're working on Woho. Woho today. We were earlier. I can show you if this compiles. Actually, I don't remember if it will. We were working on getting the debug menu. No, it won't build. We're working on getting the debug menu working so we can adjust player stats live. And now we're working on just spawning in some enemies. If it is a proper multiplayer, it has to be dynamic, so random spawnings at random times. Of course, you want client server. In which case, is your server not running synchronously, like on one thread? Like random spawnings at random times, presumably your game's still running at a tick rate, right? Let's say 20 times a second or 30 times a second or whatever. Maybe less, I don't know. 5 times a second. As a tick occurs before you spawn a player in, what's wrong with... Again, what's wrong with just picking a random position and then checking for collision? You're already doing collision detection for each player, right? We lost stats. We do. Have you tested it? Because sometimes the like stupid simple solutions are just best, so you don't spend... I'm guessing you're a solo dev, maybe. Sometimes it's not worth spending too long on some of these issues, even if there is a perfect solution in the distance. If it takes you like 5 weeks to write that, maybe it's not worth it. It pushes them out, but for now it's only a single player and you spawn at cell center. They stack on top of each other, and when you collide them out, they multiply and push out. They multiply and push out like a spider's nest. Oh, that's frightening. Why on earth would it do that? So you have a single player. So let's say like some players die, they get respawned on top of each other in the center, and it just starts spawning a bunch of players out? That doesn't make sense. You're doing ECS as well, right? So presumably to create a new... to spawn a player, you are like creating an entity in the registry and then assigning a bunch of player components to it and just popping it on the screen, but it transforms 0, 0. How on earth is it multiplying? That sounds like the bug you should be looking at as well. Or is it when you do collision detection? That wouldn't make sense actually. Just a small sidetrack. Oh yeah. What am I doing? I keep I'm losing my mind. Angle and radius. Sorry. Oh, we also need a random number generator, of course. We'll just grab one of those as well. Will be useful. Oh, I hate this. It's an ass. We need to get a random number generator saved as well. I hate this mix and match I've got here. We should fix this at some point. Oh. Okay. We're spawning stuff in. Random radiant. What's wrong? Undeclared identifier. Oh, you wanted a random radiant? Really? Oh. My bad. Well, what do you currently have? Random angle. Random angle? Random angle, welcome to Random Radian. Which is the following. Why are you angry at me? Why are you like this? Random radian is this line. Random angle is this line. Bam. Go. There we go. Go random angle, random radius. And now we're using these again. We have a position. Oh, we need to add an angled vector based on those random positions. Maths is not being included, huh? Namespace maths. Yeah, but we need to include that, I'm guessing. Right? This thing. So this could very easily spawn on the player, by the way. You have back to... Yeah, okay, fine. We want to get position plus a 0.3. 0.1f, sorry. What's wrong, little guy? You're a Vec 2. You're a Vec 2. You're a Vec 3 hours. There's someone permission who you forgot to ask. There we go. This will spawn on the player unless we increase the random radians. 2 might be enough, actually. Let's just see what happens. I feel like it'd be handy to spawn something randomly around the player. Spawn treasure mouse. Oh, it's in its own little window. There's a special treasure mouse button. Oh! Why is it so big? Why is the treasure mouse so fucking huge? What the fuck? They're all firing at me. Oh my god. Why am I not dying? Why is the treasure mouse going so crazy? What the fuck? It does seem to be spawning it randomly though. Treasure elephant, oh my god. How does this look without the debug overlay? Yeah, this is a monkey. I mean, it is indeed spawning it randomly, huh? I think I'm dead. They also don't seem to be taking damage. Man. Alright, something's going wrong there. Maybe instead of treasure mouse, we just see what happens if we spawn in a kiwi copter. Maybe the defaults for that are better. And we increase the random radius to like 3. Who cares? They spawn on top of each other. The circles aren't colliding because they are the same size. What? When you touch them, they move slightly and collision push without spitting them. It looks like they're multiplying, but they're inside one player. Oh. Sorry, what do you mean they don't collide because the circles are the same size? Their coordinates are exactly the same. Could you modify your collision detector to also just see if the... Sorry, are you doing distance? Are your characters just using circles as collision, like collision radiuses? In which case you'd just be doing distance, right? If they were on the exact same coordinate, then they would be colliding because they're at the exact same coordinate. They'd be less than the size of the collision hold from each other. Can't believe you almost missed this. Hey, Donut, check this out. It's I'm GUI. Look at this. I can increase my collision radius. Whoop. Dynamically. I can go into this corner, turn off my collision radius. Make it huge. Look at this. Can you believe it resolves? Like, dynamically changing your radius actually pushes you away from the wall. I couldn't believe that this worked. I think this is really cool. But yeah, you can change. Oh, my static int thing worked. Yeah, I'm genius. By just saving the most recent respawn iframes in a static int and only updating it on the player if it's changed. That's so smart. Yeah, look, I can change like the weapon shot interval, for example. Isn't that really cool? Make the movement speed really high. You showed me it working. I got it working with the demo, but now I've actually got it tied to doing something, which I think's sick. And right now I was working on spawning a treasure mouse. The treasure mouse is insane right now. I don't know what happened to him. I'm guessing that since we last worked on enemies, we slightly changed something about the game. Because this isn't right. I think we can just look at the JSON for him though. Enemy.json. Collision radius is 8. Yours is 0.18. Okay, easy fix. Let's just say it's 1 for now. That's 0.8 is fine. I think a lot of things got divided or multiplied by 10. Your weapon shot interval is 200. That's really quick, but fine. Shot speed's insanely high. It's insane. Let's just say like 20 to at least have like a chance to get out of the way. Movement force, really, really high as well. Let's just say 1,000 for now. Movement speed is so high. I think everything got just like divided by a big number at some point. Except they're multiplying both sides of each other. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, treasure mouse is currently spawning inside of me. Don't worry about it. Man, the aim is so good. Can you believe it? Alright, we're spawning a Kiwi copter now, actually. Why are you not a Kiwi copter? Data, textures, enemies. Kiwi copter's dad. Holy shit. What did we call Kiwi copter? Cute Kiwi waifu. We're incredible, aren't we? COVID really changed us. Okay, you are going to be even smaller. No, your hitbox should be big, actually. That kind of makes sense. But I might draw the hitbox as, like, a smaller sprite. Your shot speed is going to be much smaller. Oh, it's predictive. That's why it's still hitting you. Okay, let's just go with this. Hey, Vince. Yeah, look, there's a Kiwi copter. I was using that bloody predictive thing where it actually hits you if you just keep walking in the same direction. It's very likely to actually hit you, thanks to the power of maths. That it's just awesome. Yeah, look at him. Okay, my bullets don't collide with him anymore, but we can fix that. I'm gonna change him to basic. Helicopter's huge, by the way. Okay. You're lazy. You're using Raylib's check collision circles. It probably does its job right. Maybe your collision resolution can't decide which way to push out because they have the same center. My friend, why not simply keep a rolling buffer of the most recent coordinates and just spawn at the center and then off a little bit? Just off a little bit, and then off a little bit, and then off a little bit. Was that stupid? Maybe that's a stupid fix. You're working in a quick I'm GUI asset viewer. It's quite good for throwing stuff together. It's amazing, yeah. Maybe collision resolution can't decide which way to push out because they have the same center. Does Raylib not have resources on handling circles on the exact same coordinate? Could you not perhaps write a special case where if you are on the exact same coordinate space as another player character on spawn, so only check once, then just throw yourself in a random direction. You're already using random, right? Just pick a random direction and just chuck yourself a couple pixels in that direction, and presumably your circle detector would kick in. If you want to be a little cheeky, you could spawn the player in invisible, resolve the collision, and then when it's resolved, make them visible, especially if you're using iframes and like blinking it or something, or having an animation play when they spawn in. They never need to know. You can be, if you're already being lazy, you can be a little cheeky. Alright, let me think. I want to go to the debug screen, which is in the drawer, so the HUD. Yeah, here we go. So I want to do tint colors, but I kind of like you to be transparent. Can I? I'm guessing I can just do this and then just say, unless you have maybe a way to say tint color.alpha, set alpha component and 0.5. Maybe that's the easiest. Or maybe you're not even, yeah, 0.5. Let's just see. You've got a couple example projects. If you want, I can send you a screenshot. Please do, buddy. How have you been, Donut? I've not spoken to you in a while. I still sometimes spawning Kiwi copters on you, but that's fine. Okay, he's shooting way too quick for like a fucking basic enemy, but that's fine. He needs to like randomly take a break sometimes, doesn't he? He is like a sentry right now. Right, but it doesn't look bad, does it? It kind of looks like he's shitting out bullets, I'm sorry. Oh, crass. You've been very heads down working on Libdona, basically. Hell yeah, buddy. Oh, I see a screenshot. Oh, this looks sick. Is this a test town from Half-Life Alyx? Or is this something you chucked together? Quick brown fox. Why don't you use the cooler one? Like Onyx Cat of Destruction, I beseech thee, or something. There's a cooler version of Quick Brown Fox. Yeah, Donut, this is cool. I like this. Are you drawing a little pixel art yourself? Got some box 2D or whatever, collision. Or did you do your own collision? I don't remember. Is it box 2D? Or is it your own thing? Alright. The bistro environment is from Amazon Lumberyard. Oh, okay. The pixel tile set is from Open Game Art. Guess that makes sense. Alright, let's see why we aren't able to shoot the Kiwi for a second. So I'm just gonna make the enemy shoot every, like, second. That's fine. Shot speed, whatever. Okay, let's see. This should already be happening in the collision system, right? Okay. Does the enemy not have a health? Let's have a look. We should have a culling system. I think we already have vector from angle, so maybe we could already do this. We had particles? Oh, why is the player not taking damage? Do we just have that somewhere like commented out? This is health. I forgot I made particle systems. This whole thing. Weapon system. Let's have a look at the entity factory. Spawn enemy, please. Here we go. So enemy type. Group enemy. Collision player bullet. Why on earth isn't the collision working? I feel like I might have turned this off at some point, but I'm honestly not certain. Let's just put a thing in here. I think we're running debug. Oh. So this isn't being ran, or what? Here we go. Okay, so this stuff is never getting resolved. Collision group and mask. And your collision dot mask isn't equal to 0. This is weird. This is going to be impossible to debug. The mask and the group are the same in this case. Hang on, what am I missing? Did I accidentally put the player in the enemy collision mask? Layers to collide against his mask. My layer is a player. Are they not enemy bullets? This is really weird. Hang on, is the collision system just not running, maybe? I love this song, by the way. Holy shit. Oh, we're just not instantiating the collision system. That makes sense. Does it? No, it doesn't. That doesn't make sense. We were just ticking through it. I'm so fucking confused. Hang on, why isn't this working? The FPS example is almost a full engine at this point. It's got multiplayer, you can shoot other players that respawn. Is everything so it's a natural game? You could try and clone TF2 again. Why is my shit not colliding? I'm going to assume that the logic for this changed at some point and we just never updated it. Because this definitely worked at some point. I call it underlisten. Underlisten. Overwatch. Oh, hate it. Just call it Overwatch 2. They got rid of the name. I don't fully understand why these aren't colliding. Different coordinate spaces. That's what I'm thinking. Like, at some point, we had to change how we were colliding with, like, walls. And I remember us having to change all sorts there. And I'm guessing we just haven't updated this since that. Considering the enemies had a radius in, like, the hundreds, I'm pretty sure that was when we changed coordinate spaces. But we weren't even getting to this intersects part, right? That was kind of confusing me. This your hitbox part should still be getting hit even if they're in different coordinate spaces, right? Okay, wait, there's loads of collision types on the screen. This list is simply retrieving all collidables that aren't respawning. Maybe we've got that respawning flag on. I don't think we do. Is it possible that they don't have transform and physics and collision? I mean, you have transform physics and collision. You have transform collision and you don't have physics, but maybe that's okay. You don't have physics either. Maybe that's it. Why did they need physics in this check exactly? Can I just remove that? We just need things with collisions here, right? Was it to only get... Was this to stop you from colliding bullets and players on the same tick? I mean, let's just see what happens, first of all. Maybe there was a very good reason. I mean, that did fix it. Whoa, look at it go. Oh, whoops. Why is it so insane? Oh my god. Oh, bad memory location. Okay, maybe there's a good reason we didn't do something. Ah. Player position copy. Oh, I guess this doesn't exist in this case. Oh, I'm stupid. Let's just be lazy for now. I just want to increase the random radius by a healthy chunk. Yeah, I get it. Okay, for a moment, I'm also going to modify No, actually, I'm not going to modify anything. We can write actual enemy AI. AI in the active real sense, not in the stupid fucking sense. I mean in the based sense, like artificial intelligence, not like LLMs that eat puppies. I mean, it feels like a video game, doesn't it? If you were to turn off the collision view, which should probably be on a button, let's be honest. Man, they don't hold back. They just start shooting. It's impossible to view the fucking bullets. That's a problem for another day. Look, it's a video game. You can shoot the fucking enemies. Oh god. Scoreboard, huh? That's an old breakpoint. It's kind of jarring seeing the crystal textures because you're playing it right now. Oh yeah. I could imagine. Man, he just starts fucking firing, doesn't he? He gave Treasure Mouse a Glock and also made it into a Kiwi copter. Holy shit. I don't know why, I love the extremely violent death particles. It's very funny. I don't know, I don't say, oh fuck. I need to give myself like way more invuln time, hang on. Character... respawn invuln time, give myself like 10 seconds of invuln. It's pretty funny. Yeah. Just spawn in like a bunch of treasure mice. Could definitely fix it to say Kiwicopter. I don't know if this needs sound. I kind of think it's funny as is. I'm now being extremely like conscious that there's no cursor in game. You just gotta fucking vibe it with the Windows cursor, which is white. I'm also noticing that I'm not caring at all that this is a small square instead of being 16 by 9, which is kind of what I wanted. I liked that Nuclear Throne was in 4 by 3 from a balance perspective, that the game is a bit more square. Maybe they could have gone like proper square, but this is fine as well. Oh, they spawned on top of me. That random radius thing ain't fucking working, dude. Why is that? Get me out of here. Get me to game.cpp. Free dopamine. I've made a fucking Skinner box for myself. I guess the random radius could be within. Hang on, why is the random radius inside? Wow. Random radius should be a float from 6 to 10. Not that I know what these numbers represent, I'll be real with you. We can try an even bigger number, we can try like 50. 25 and 50, I don't know. All the way through feels right in pixel art, it does. I think I will draw like a big border around the screen. Like I'll have like pretty art and stuff, so it will fill out the 16 by 9 screen. But like, holy shit, Collat. Hang on, isn't it fun when you make a game and it kind of feels like you're actually playing a game? They don't seem to be spawning on top of me anymore. I've also made way too many fucking enemies, holy shit. Wait, are they... Is this maybe the collision detection going a little wrong? How many enemies can it take? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20. Oh, hang on, are their bullets not being culled? Oh, look at the frame rate. Oh, the bullets aren't dying. Oh, maybe they are dying eventually? I think they are dying eventually. At this point, all the enemies have fired all their bullets, I guess. That's pretty bad. Maybe we should improve the collision detection logic on bullets. I think we did it with walls already, right? Right now it's just colliding with all bullets at all times. The game shouldn't be lagging when there's like this few. Sorry, I've missed some like chat. Acceleration structure. There's all sorts we can have. We should give bullets a lifetime if we hadn't already. It wraps an... Oh, sorry. In the tile map, you used a custom fixed point coordinate type for world coordinates, so you already know the coordinate spaces to avoid issues with floating point precision. I noticed this game still has some weird fuzz as you're floating around. Still don't know what it is. I feel like I'm drawing something in the wrong time span. Whatever. I'm on a 360Hz monitor, so shit should be smooth and legible. There has an int32 that you can construct from an int16 tile. int16t. And a float subtile coordinate that gets converted to uint16t and smashed together with the full coordinate. That's cool. You spent so much time just b-hopping around in the FPS example, you know what I mean? I wasted so much time in Game Maker as a kid, because I made all these little Zelda engines, I used to waste so much time just running around, just swinging the little sword, cutting grass, hitting the enemies that I'd written. I never got anything done. Am I doing a broad phase for collisions? We are doing the most bare minimum possible, because originally this game was just a normal bullet hell, and there was a limited screen space, and you could handle like 10,000 bullets at once within this small space, because the moment they went off screen, they'd get destroyed. And I haven't changed that at all. You've watched me today bring enemies back. I should give you some context, by the way. That the game was originally more of a bullet hell, like a sort of fixed screen, vertical scrolling bullet hell, and now we're going for this sort of free movement style. And enemies haven't been implemented at all in this new style, so it is basic as hell. We just had a look at it. It is every tick. Look at all collidables. Check them. You know, do a check on masks. You know, is it an enemy bullet in a player, for example? But that's it. Super basic. So we can definitely improve this. We had a movement. Is it movement system? No. Some restricted movement. Here we go. Maybe. No, this isn't it. Somewhere we're doing the actual collision detection, or maybe it's in the... Sorry, just punched my mic. Somewhere we're doing collision detection with walls, and I have a feeling that that happens locally. We're doing like some quad tree nonsense, maybe. I don't remember. That was months ago. Where was the action responder? Man, this is messy. Okay, so we're not doing it in here. Do you guys remember where we're checking? Oh, movement system, maybe. No, this isn't it. Is this C++ game development? Sure is, buddy. Sure is. Physics system, maybe. Calculate collision. Here we go. How the fuck were we doing this? Should this be in physics? I guess so. For now. I don't remember any of this. This was ages ago. This took so fucking long. Find smallest separation, side. Oh my god. I think this might only be for local things. You know, something tells you this isn't C++ game development. Is it the C++ files? The game? The game? Is the game? It's the game. This is very... Look at this. I've got imGUI. I'm spawning treasure mice in. Look at this. This is game development. I've got sprites stolen from a game. You used a GPU resident tile map texture in that example, and with that you can zoom out as far as you want and always have hundreds of FPS. Limited to a 16 by 16 world unless you want to run out of VRAM. Is that assuming that you have 16... Oh wait, hang on. 16 by 16K. Alright, that's fine. Speaking of broad phase, I think this version of LibDonut has a loose quad tree class that you can use to accelerate bullet collisions. Maybe I'll wait on the bullet collision stuff for now then. It's kind of a whatever. I can just give them a short lifespan for now and move on with my life. Make the particles damage other Kiwis and give a combo meter for big chain reactions. Sorry, I completely missed that. That would be dope as hell. Can't believe we're adding melting to the game. How was this working, by the way? I have no memory of this. Every tick we're getting the map. Oh, there you go. They're getting the whole map. That can't be right. We are not... Are we really checking for collision against every box in the map? That doesn't sound efficient. I thought we were doing something with a quad tree. Or did we just say fuck it and leave it? I don't think we're doing... Are we not doing any phasing? Or am I missing something in here? No, I do remember... It's been a while, but I did a game development course at university. I remember the concept of broad phase and so on. Let's have a look. I think your tile collision's fine. The bullets don't use it. They don't. That's correct. I just thought it was weird that the game lags when there's this many bullets, but not when there's this many tiles. But fine. You don't even need anything for quad tree or a 2D drop downwards. You don't need anything like quad tree for a 2D drop downwards square cells. Yeah, I guess that's why it's efficient, because if I remember correctly, we have our map is running on a very, very basic cell tile system. So, you know, when you see like a piece of grass or a tree, that is the cell. That is a piece of grass. It's not a piece of grass of size 16. It is 1. It is gig grass. 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, whatever. And this would be like a tree, a tree, a tree, a tree, gravel, gravel, gravel. And I guess we're quite literally just popping the player coordinate within that coordinate space and just checking. I don't fully remember this. This was a while ago again, but I think it was some basic shit like that. I'm gonna say basic shit, like this wasn't fun. We're doing conversions, I guess, between our coordinate spaces. That was a nice part about the map. Like, deciding this sort of pixel arty style works really well with having this big square grid for everything. You only test the tiles near the player, like 9 or so. Oh, yeah. You're right. Yes, sorry. Okay, let me explain better. We have here, if I remember correctly, we are passing in for any paints covering the code. Shit me. Here, we are checking for everything that has a transform in physics. So anything with an X, Y, and physics. In this case, just meaning we're gonna check for physics collision detection with it. So players, monsters, enemies, whatever. That's something with linear acceleration or whatever. We run this calculate collisions function on it, where we convert from the transform, so the XY floating point, lovely, intricate system. We transform that to the tile screen space, coordinate space, and then in this horrible, but I don't really know if there's a better way to do it, for loop, we iterate between the top left of the tile, the bottom right, and we check literally based on the collision hull's distance. If we were to apply the collision hull, which is a radius in that sort of precise floating screen space. What was it? World space and screen space? I don't remember the words for this, but we convert both the player and his collision hull into the tile system we use for maps. and then only check on those tiles for collision. So it's actually really small. We're doing like, we're only, yeah, you're right, we're only doing like 9 max tests a second. The transforms are already in the tile coordinate space, only floating points out of integer. Oh yeah. Check your link. Oh, links don't work on YouTube. I don't know why. They've just completely, they've been balked for fucking months or something. Yeah, whatever collision detection we're doing for walls is fine, but we can't apply that to bullets. You put all projectiles in a bucket, cells, all players in other buckets, and then for each player, check its cell and 8 cells around. Yeah, I think that's a fair point. We spoke a lot about this collision detection stuff a little while ago. We used your pixel coordinates for transforms, but I think you managed to convince you that the tile space is a better default. We used to use pixel coordinates for transforms. Yeah, no, you're right. And then going to tile coordinates was a little annoying because we had a bunch of stuff that was still using the old system, like the enemies, apparently. All their data was still written as if we were using pixel space instead of tile space, but whatever. Basically yours in that sense, in your game. Can you post the link with like a space in it or something so YouTube doesn't delete it, or put it on Discord or something? What I was going to say is we have a player here, and we have like a bunch of bullets. There is definitely a way to like assign all bullets to like the chunk that they are on the screen, and just, we can do this like really benign, what's the word? Naive. We can do this very naive collision detection we're already doing, where we're just doing distance checks, because that's quick. But we could just do it within everything of a certain distance, if we were to bucket stuff. Alternatively, well, the thing is, right now I know the game only has 1 player. Then again, if I have 1 player shooting against many enemies, it's the same as having many players and 1 enemy. So I was going to say, yeah, I'd have to check over here. Let me think for a moment. I suppose one thing we could do is have... I don't want bullets to keep track of their own cell, but we could do that. I don't like that. Somewhere, if we were to bucket it, we'd either want to do it every time the bullet changes its coordinate, so every update, or we'd do it in this collision system. But at which point, if we're converting... If we're already doing the work to convert from a bullet into which chunk it's in, oh, is that really faster than just directly doing a distance check to the player? Because we're using distance-based collision. It's a pretty simple check. Surely adding more work before doing that isn't cutting down. I think that's when we want to use quad trees or something, right? The quad tree approach is like clear quad tree, put bullets into quad tree, and for each bullet test it instead of all other bullets. Does the quad tree class already exist? It's pretty simple to do. If we are already iterating through all bullets and putting them within spaces in this collection, is that's faster than just doing the distance check against the player every update? Or is the problem that the bullets are checking for collision with each other as well? Because there's this bit here where we're talking about masks. Collision system. We'd avoid having to deal this mask check, I suppose. Obviously the intersects. Is intersects a particularly expensive operation? It is faster. Okay. You think you explained this already, but the difference is that the quad tree has a bounded depth that each bullet needs to test instead of every other bullet. Yeah. Quad tree is an overkill for a 2D top-down with square grid. I don't know. Look, the game's already lagging out if we spawn a bunch of bullets in. If the bullets, with the current system, the bullets all check for collision with each other. If you're spawning in let's say like 30 enemies or something, or 40 enemies, and they're all shooting. Each single update frame, these bullets are checking for collision with each other. Which is unnecessary, because what we could do is only check for collisions within the chunk that the player's in. Or nearby. Well, that's another thing we could do, right? We can... Well, actually, no, I want this to be generic. I was going to say we could get the current chunk. We have this hitbox thing. I'll probably look at the quad tree implementation. I don't know about overkill. It's already written. Yeah, we don't have to worry about writing the quad tree itself. Although that feels like a good exercise, doesn't it? Are they that complicated to write? Probably, right? I remember my architect saying he had to write one at some point. It was a pain in the ass. He had to do it without heat allocation. I was like, I don't remember. Maybe it wasn't a quad tree, maybe it was something else. There are a million ways to do it, each with different trade-offs. Yeah, I'm like familiar, or more familiar with quad trees than I am the other approaches. You mentioned cells and checking around cells. We already have a chunking system on the map. Within the map's coordinate space. I don't know if we'd need to construct a new, or maybe I guess we would override that construct. Let's think for a moment. The trade-off you went for is a loose quad tree, dynamically updatable, which uses indices instead of pointers. What is currently in libdonut? Let me have a Google on this. Quad trees. Oh, I'm looking at a link as well. Broad-face collision detection methods, and they're talking about sphere trees. They handle large loads of dynamic objects well. If your objects are constantly moving, quad trees are slower in the updates than a sphere circle. What is a sphere tree? I've never heard of that. There's 3 separate orthogonal things going on, by the way. Oh, the bucket. Loose orth tree. Oh, your link got deleted. What the fuck? Links work in Twitch chat. They should at least. Hello, diff 0. What the fuck? It just said star. Put like a space in the URL. I think Twitch just checks for sendvid.com. All right. I'm sure you're trustworthy. If this is something nasty, I'm gonna be really sad. Oh no, it's not. The circles are multiplying. I see. This website is weird, but okay. You got my IP address, by the way. Oh, this is weird. It does sound like a sketchy site. Yeah, whatever. That's weird. I don't know why this is doing this. What is your game? Can I ask? Send vid. Instant video upload. I've never heard of this website. What are you going to do with my IP address now you've got it? I've been around for a while. Reddit.com/r/MyLittlePony. Please allow send vid links with deferrer. There's not a lot of information on this website, huh? Whatever. Moving on. Loose auth tree. No, it would be somewhere in libdono. Hmm? There's Luth quad tree. This version doesn't have the quad folder yet. I'm being baited. It's just in looseauthtree.hpp. Interesting. Interesting. It's a Czech Republic website, but they claim to be from the US. I'm a human being. Enforce.com. Interesting. Listed in a blacklist. Interesting. Sorry, I was reading up on this Senvid site. I've never heard of it. Dodgy as fuck, huh? Why do you prefer to use that instead of any other hosting service? Loose auth tree under include slash. We have loose quad tree. Is it donut slash? What? Sorry, does this exist? You're calling it auth tree. Are you confusing me? Was the first one in Yandex not advertised? Yeah, I figured it might be. I don't know. Maybe you only had quad tree in that version. I guess so. Maybe most, like a lot of video uploaders don't work in Eastern Europe and Russia. I imagine a lot of places are probably blacklisted. And what is auth tree? Auth tree. Can I get away with just a quad tree for now until I update to your newest version? They're literally the same thing. Oh, okay. I hadn't heard of an auth tree. I've heard a lot about quad tree. Auth tree. Quad tree has specializations of loose auth tree and loose auth tree. In version 3, quad tree is an auth tree. Oh, is it just how many branches it has? Or, I don't know if branches is the right word, but maybe it is. Maybe it's that way. I don't know how you want to describe it. Mentioning this about video providers, you are on YouTube and Twitch. Fair. I guess if it's just to quickly share, it's fine. I wouldn't worry about it. Auth tree is just the general term. Quad tree, 2D auth tree, and auth tree is a 3D auth tree. Okay. Well, I learned more today. Thank you. Thank you as always, huh? How long have you been working on your game, DF0? We've got a quad tree here. How does that work? Donut loose quad tree of, I don't know, float? How do you work? Do you not like the donut? I know it doesn't match the initializer, I just wanted to oh, whatever. Let's see. They are space subdivision containers optimized for intersection queries between 2D axis-aligned boxes. Wow. Construct an auth tree. You need the world bounding box or the full region that contains all other axis-aligned boxes. Minimum threshold for the size of a leaf quadrant should be the size of the box. You can reset it to a clear state. So, does it work where you update it every time you spawn a bullet or every time the bullet moves, and you remove an element when you delete the bullet, and so on and so forth, and you reset it when you clear the world? So you're writing. Couple of tens of hours, 50 maybe. Oh, cool. Sorry, I don't know if I missed it. What is the end goal of the project? I saw your video with the circles moving around. What are you trying to make? Like a web game? I can't tell. Based on the video, it's so abstract. It's moving around like a maze of players. You'll want to keep it as a context variable, probably to reuse memory. Oh yeah. I'm sure this will sit in more permanent space. I just wanted to have a look with it. You can rebuild it entirely every tick. Okay, that makes sense. But we just don't want to constantly be clearing and reallocating memory on the heap every single time. Good. No heap fragmentation here. Alright, actually this does look fucking complicated. Oh, there was a lot of comments. Maybe the actual implementation itself is legible, but we'll look at this later. Might play a shooter, maybe some battle royale component to force them to fight. Well, cool. Is it going to be like sort of like the Hotline Miami style, where it's like top down and your character spins around and shoots? I remember seeing a battle royale like that a few years ago. I remember Northern Line playing it. It was pretty cool. That's a cool idea. Okay, sorry. Let's have a look. So we're going to let's spawn a quad tree in at the start of the game, because there's somewhere up here we're spawning in stuff into context more permanently. Local player. We'll also have a quad tree. What is the type of quad going into quad tree? Is it going to be coordinates? Do we want coordinates within cell or world space, or whatever we called it? I'm guessing we want it to be within world space. Probably should be an entity ID. How? Okay, let me have a rundown here. The quad tree is a way of splitting up a big chunk of coordinates into an organized system. So let's say with collision detection, we can say I only want to check for collision within this space. It holds its bounding box automatically. So if we have loads of bullets over here, but the whole map is the size of my webcam, quad tree is actually this size. Oh, you're using Streamable now. Let's have a look. Now that's the web player I recognize. You can, I have a Discord server if this is easier to share stuff. Watch real bullet hell. Oh, that's cool! Yeah, dude. That's beautiful. Nice done, Maku. It's funny seeing the Raylib collision resolve at the end there. Okay, so sorry, it should hold on to an entity ID. So was that you in size T? Or is there an entity ID type? Is it just ID type? Junko bullet pattern. Oh, did you type that in manually? Small. Or could you see my window? Okay, whatever. I want to construct you. But to construct you, you take something, don't you? You want an argument. Your argument's going to be a 1. Nah, it's going to be 2 1s. Yeah, I knew it. Yeah. Raylib doesn't resolve a thing, you have to do it manually. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's nice seeing it resolve. The duplicating things when they spawn on top of each other is really weird. This version has a big limitation that if you can only insert 1 element per cell, so it probably needs to hold a standard vector of entity. Standard forward list. Let me have a look at that. It's a data type I've not been using. cppreference.com, come to my aid. It's a container that supports fast insertion and removal of elements from anywhere in the container. Ooh. Fast random access is not supported. Fine. It's implemented as a singly linked list. Oh, it's a linked list. Removing them within this does not validate the iterators. Alright, so it's some kind of linked list. Okay. Donut them, talk to me. Entity. Okay. Why? Only insert 1 element per cell. I should look up on how quad trees normally work. It's a data structure where each internal node has exactly 4 children. It's a 2D analog of octrees and often used to partition a 2D space recursively dividing it. Yeah, and then Wikipedia is this nice picture. You can Wikipedia quad tree. It has this nice picture of how it divides the space up. They compose space into adaptable cells. Each cell is a bucket has a maximum capacity. When it's reached, it splits. We're not writing compressed quad trees. We don't need to write anything. Beautiful. Oh, there's a pseudocode. Simple option. Access low value box. Okay. The entity. Alright, let's have a look. So you want a loose quad tree where each cell, instead of being an entity, you want to be a standard forward list. Now explain to me, Donut, why... Hang on. Oh, sorry. Why we want a collection of entities instead of just the entities directly, because what I just read on Wikipedia implies that if things don't fit within... If things aren't fitting within the current cell, so if the cell is just size 1, then it splits. Does that not mean that it just constructs a new tree where there's the old cell and then his friend? It didn't fit? Also, what do I need to construct you? The implicit copy constructor, not viable. What am I doing wrong here? I often have issues with the implicit copy constructor thing. Where was this stored again? This was just in... Where's quad tree? How do I construct you? What do you need? You only have a header file, right? Yeah. There's a usage example in example game. You got your quad tree here. You're doing traversal. Let's see. So you're doing the forward list thing here. You have a forward list of circle float, and that is, in this case, the information we're holding with our entity. This version was a bit stupid and didn't bother storing multiple elements when they inhabit the same level of the quad tree. You fixed it now. The idea was to make it so it's the user's problem. Oh. Regarding the same level of the quad tree, is it not up to the quad tree to decide if two things are... I still don't understand them fully, I suppose, but they're not literally... Or is this if they're literally on the same coordinate? So if we have two things at 0, 0, they would be at the same section of the same quad tree, right? And this list would just have both entities in there. Or is it within? Are we splitting things down into cells of, let's say it ends up becoming a square about this big. We'll have multiple entities that are close enough. We might as well consider them in the same space. You know, if they're only a few little pixels away. Let me pop this and have a read. They don't have to be at the exact same coordinate, just close enough that the smallest least quad tree cell can fit into is the same one. Okay, let's have a look. So you're constructing it out of something. AABB, axis aligned bounding box. And then later on you're traversing the nodes. Is that it? Man, this music's fucking crazy. What function is this? This is the draw function, right? And what are you drawing in here? Blanched almond. Ooh. Where are these colors from? Surely you didn't write all this fucking saddle brown. You're at slate gray twice. Get on that. HTML spec. Chartreuse. Classic highlighter color. You know that shit's called chartreuse? Little fact of the day. Now this music is hard style, crazy style. Might have been X11, you don't remember. Oh, goldenrod. Oh yeah, that's a nice color. Look at that. Beautiful. I guess this is the one we care about. Alright, let me pop this on the side and see what we can recreate. See what we can understand. So when you are constructing your quad tree, is this all just... Hang on, do you not have a header file? You don't. Good. Alright, so you've got a loose quad tree forward list of something. Why am I storing entities in here instead of directly storing their transforms? I guess it's because the entity, we want to be able to grab their components. You know, to use traverse active arcs, there's a simpler function called test. Well, that link got deleted, debug. I mean, I guess you can see on the stream, right, in the side, in the over. Yeah, see that. I want to do something with the thing you hear. Yeah, I'm still trying to understand how the quad tree thing works, but I guess we have to go to the traversal space, and the way we add things in and the way we traverse it is the bit that matters, not how we're storing them or what we're storing. It could be storing a little fucking sticky note or a carrier pigeon. Because I was thinking in my head, quad trees contain coordinates, and an entity is like a fucking vague ass little thing. How on earth would the quad tree know how to resolve that? But I guess when we're inserting things, we resolve that ourselves. Whole coordinate crap. All right, whatever. Moving on. So you're constructing a quad tree of circles, and you are constructing it with two elements. Oh, this is where the spec, or the spec, your note said that you need to tell it the, was it the world space? Like the widest space it could take up, and then roughly the size of a cell. Does it have to be a box? I guess, well, look, we can just pop this in for now and then adjust the numbers. Box of size 2? What is this? Box of 2 and float. Length. Why are you posting this on different websites each time? I don't feel comfortable constantly clicking on different links in a chat. Could you just use Streamable or YouTube or something? Because it's text, not a video. What are you posting? On seat, kind of a good bit. It's a crazy bit. Your code. Google, what is ctxt.io? Quickly share contextual snippets. Alright, come on then. Please don't give me a virus. Oh, it is your code. Let's see. Install Trojan. Oh, this is your bucket thing. This is cool. So, you have a standard vector of oh, you're also using entity. That's awesome. You are doing a vector of players in cell and projectiles in cell. When you update your buckets, you clear them. You view players within the registry. And based on their position, you pop them in an appropriate bucket. Where you've split up the screen into columns and rows. And likewise with projectiles. Then in your collision detection system, you view players. I'm guessing you're checking if stuff's off screen. You iterate through. It's kind of hard to read. I'm not myself a big fan of short variable names, but I guess if you understand it, that's what matters most. PR equals player Y. And PC is player X. Sure. What is this song? Okay. And then you check within that cell for bullets. Yeah, this makes complete sense to me, what you've done here. If I understand correctly, I mean, because your game's on this this grid, right? You've got this. For every player, you check for any bullet that's within the grid. Why is this color so hard to see? But you don't bother checking in other grids. You just check with this one, which makes sense. Midnight Elf, you know. Is that what the song's called? Yeah, this makes sense. But remember that our map can be fucking huge. Like our game is this huge generated level. And while we can split stuff into buckets like that, sure, it would also work just about fine. I like this quad tree thing. It seems a little more efficient. If the quad tree is already written for us, right? Roughly the size of your smalling entities, just so it doesn't waste storage in tiny cells that nothing will fit into. You're storing just an int per entity. Yeah, no, I'm not talking about storage space being a problem. I was just thinking about the resolution you get. I don't know if that's the right word, but this one assigns the same. Maybe I'm misunderstanding, but this system is much simpler to write than the quad tree method. But the quad tree method could potentially. Let's say that this cell that the player's in here is actually... Maybe I can literally just make it bigger. The map's literally like this big. And the player's only this small. This song's fucking crazy. The quad tree could potentially split up this cell even more, you know? And then we'd only be checking an even smaller space. Right? That's the idea, right? So like it scales well with a really big map, and obviously the stuff over here is ignored. This is the benefit of a quad tree, right? And like again, if the implementation's already kind of done, what's the worry? What's the regular trade-off of the quad trees? There's a little extra logic in terms of resolving the tree. Like doing all this isn't free. You know, splitting up the tree. So you know, collision detection also isn't free. But then again, it's pretty easy. I don't know. I feel at some point it becomes a vibe-based thing. Your approach is good for when entity sizes are less than a cell. Depends on how much your entities vary in size, I suppose. I suppose as well, if an entity were to be like, say you had like a big ship coming in, it's a bullet hell game after all, and the ship was this big, that affect things? Or if you had something that's just a single fucking pixel? It's just I'm just spitballing. This is all something I'm learning as we're going through it. Earlier today I said I don't know what an M&M grid is, so this is, if you can roughly see where I am mentally. It's larger than the cell, you have to shake more cells around, yeah. Alright, sorry, we should just crack on with it. Let's experiment. Let's see how we're feeling with the quad tree thing. Aim is to not check collision with all projectiles, which it does. Yeah, which is certainly better than what we're doing now, which is checking everything. Absolutely. I'm going to use this quad tree example just for now, just because it's pre-existing in this library Donut's given me. And just we'll see how it goes. For a little more context, the guy in chat, the Donut lad, has written this nice nice library called libdonut, which you can look up on is it on GitHub, I guess? It's on GitHub. It's full of all sorts. It includes a quad tree. Paint is covering it again. It's also midnight. And it's Sunday now. Okay, sorry. I'm getting lost. In terms of how big is an entity, is this now using the same resolution that we're using for collision hulls? In which case, if we have a look at character, the character's collision hull is 0.18. So let's say the average entity size is 1. Like, does that make sense? Does that sound really stupid? Like, let's say it's less than 1, you know, if it's 0.5 even. It won't store anything smaller than that. Or should we go even smaller? We should do 0.0. Like, what was the idea? This should be the smallest possible that it has to worry about? .5 works. How does it work? Should it be bigger than most? Should this be bigger than most of our entities or smaller than most of them? Assuming the player character is size 0.18. Because cell size 1. I'm currently wondering if we're even using the cell system. I don't know right now how we're splitting the world up. I haven't gotten that far. We have the way the level is drawn and the way that collision detection with walls work. Cells are 1, like it's an integer 1. There is a cell there or there isn't. But when we're doing normal collision detection with bullets, I have a feeling that will be much more precise than that. Because they have the players moving around on a different system to the worlds or the levels system, if that makes sense. Like when we're checking the player's collision against the wall, we have to convert player's floating point coordinate wherever it is in the world to the local cell size 1 system. We definitely had words for this. I'm sorry, I don't remember what we called them. World coordinates versus map coordinates? I don't know. Who knows? I will just leave it. We'll make it 0.1. Since you're inverting transforms that are already in tile space, this should probably be in tile space too. Well, most things are going to be about the size of a tile, so we'll just go with a 1F for now and just see how things work. And then this is the world size. Is that something we capture somewhere? Do we somewhere calculate the highest X, the highest Y, the lowest X, and the lowest Y? If not, we can capture it, I suppose. What is 1 unit in your world? 1 unit is 1 tile. In the can I hit F5? Can we just view this maybe? I can show you. Yeah. So the way the level generation works and the collision detection works is on this big grid of 1 by 1. So this is 1. There's a wall here. There's not a wall here. You get the idea. So the way we collide with these walls, even though the player character is moving on these what look like subpixels, they collide on the tile border like that. But the way I'm going to want bullets to... Where's my treasure mouse? The way I'm going to want bullets to collide is going to be a lot more precise. You know, I want Want subtile precision. Just make it -1,000 to +1,000. In theory, you could even make it center around the player. Yeah, I guess we can just pick something. Cool. So why are you doing max and min? You don't need this. What's wrong? Sorry. Why do you need min and max? Oh, it's the points on the sorry, I'm stupid. It's the name of the points. I thought it was a maths function called min and max. It's the name of the top left and the bottom right coordinate of the square. That makes sense. So we have a loose quad tree here of some size. To do, resize either on real world chords or player chords. Who cares? Now what? We have a quad tree. Awesome. Somewhere we need to add stuff to it. Get AABB of. That's something you have with a axis aligned bounding box of a circle. This seems expensive, but I guess a quad tree works on a... We need to convert to a square? Sounds a little silly, but okay. Okay, you know what I mean? Like to have all these beautiful fucking circles that only have one coordinate, and then to be like, bam, now you got two. That feels a little silly. It's not expensive. It's 2 subtractions and 2 additions. I don't know. It just feels weird to me. Is there no is there really no way to do it with single points? Okay, well, whatever. We're putting this into the registry. Into context, sorry. I feel like I should have a type def for this. We'll just leave it for now. We're going to go into collision system, and we're going to do auto. Strong logo. How does this work again? I just want to do a context.get. Accessing one uncached byte from RAM was like 100 times just as long. Okay, fine. But you understand, like, just where my, like, initial... Sorry about the mind fuck. I have, like, a bunch of single point circles, and just converting it into a bounding box just feels... To then later on just do collision detection between them just feels weird, but whatever. Who cares? I don't care. Is he angry because really you just need to care about the middle bit? Like if I'm getting something out of the registry, is it just going to be a quad tree? Are you angry because you're a fucking reference? You hate that? No, you're angry because you're a donut. Are you missing a fucking square bracket? Yeah, I think so. I miss rainbow brackets. Oh, there they are. I'll just say that. We've got a quad tree here. We're going to pretend we've already filled it. I haven't. Although I guess I could I fill it in here? In part of collision system? Because this is what we're going to do once we've resolved the quad tree, right? Should we load it up in here? Oh, you've bombarded 3 AIs with questions. Okay. With questions about broad phase collision on a 2D top-down square grid. They all said quad tree is overkill because you have a spatial structure. You should use it for broad phase. I don't like AI, so I kind of I appreciate that you've had a look for me, but I care not for the output of the machine, for I am myself a big machine. Have you seen these muscles? They're huge. Not for you, for me. Oh, that's fair. In which case, banging. Do what's best. People take advice like possible. Yeah. I don't like LLMs. I really despise them. For an opinion piece as well. But if it's working for you, that's fine. I will continue to use my Swedish guy. He works similarly, but instead of tokens, I have to occasionally give him like a token thank you. It's a lot cheaper. Actually paid him very little for all this. I've paid him an exposure. Cruel. Okay. What am I doing? Quad tree. Let's pretend we are traversing it already, alright? You're the one paying your Prime subs. It's an amazing deal, isn't it? We're fighting for 0.01 ms in performance. Could you ask them about the circle spawning bug you had? Where they like spawn in each other and it seems to like duplicate them. It's 'cause you're doing a network game, right? So you're worried about keeping like frame times low, right? Which is fair. Everything I'm doing here is within like a really generous space. It's a single player, single threaded, synchronous game. If there's multiplayer, it will be like 1 player, 4, probably 1, probably 0. So for now, I have all the memory in the world. So I'm happy to just experiment with whatever seems fun rather than what's most efficient. I understand if you're doing a network game, then that frame times will matter quite a lot more. That's fair. It's all a hobby. Or at least for me, this is a hobby. But I'm trying to do what's fun mostly. I think quad trees sound cool, so I want to fuck around with them for a bit. Okay, traverse active nodes. You said there was something called quad tree dot. So we're saying we're filling it. Do fill tree. I'm going to do quad tree dot test. How does this work? Execute a callback function for each element in the tree that might contain a given point. I'm gonna raise the music a little bit. Function to execute, which should accept the following parameter: an read-only reference to an element. There's different overloads for point and box tests. Oh, yeah. This is my box, I guess. What's the difference between these two? This one's a no discard, it returns a ball. It takes in a box. This one is a... Wait, this is a template. Without a callback. Yes. Okay, I see. I want one with a callback. Okay. I'm guessing this is just a on-done, functionally. Execute a callback function for each element in the tree that might be intersecting with a given axis-aligned box. So would I pass in the collidables, to the player or the enemy, I guess? Because right now bullets aren't interacting with bullets. Or I could just, maybe I can just interact with everything. You know, maybe bullets can interact with each other. I don't know. Right now they won't. I guess also if I wanted to have like a rocket that explodes if you shoot it, that could be a special entity. So for now, maybe we'll just deal with anything with physics. So that would be enemies and players. Go over each bullet and call test to see what it hits. Oh, you would do it over every bullet? Okay. Or just every collidable object? Specifically bullets. Return true. Nothing. Sorry, a void or a ball that specifies that it should stop traversal or not. True means to stop and go early, where our value of false means to continue. It's not thread safe because it mutates an internal memory cache. Very well. So, the difference is that instead of checking distance to every bullet, you only check distances to the one that test gives you. Yeah, bullets right now don't collide with bullets. That's something we're not worrying about. So is it in here maybe? We're getting every entity with a collision and a transform. So this isn't just bullets, but this is also players. Could we not be checking for players? Because then we'd get double collisions, right? How were we already... How are we already resolving double collisions? Or will we not? I know you want to get to the dark side of storing entities with their cells each frame. I didn't see big ships in your game yet. What if I were to add the giant balloon from Bloons Tower Defense? You know? I'm all for experimenting. It is also like 1 AM on a Sunday, and I want to crack on with this. I think your approach is completely valid as well, though. I've been talking about quad trees for years, and I want to give one a go. You know, we talked about these when I was in uni like a decade ago, and I've never gotten around to using one. Weirdly, they don't come up a lot of work. I'm not against the framing thing. I think that's probably the approach I'd take if I didn't have a library handling a quad tree for me right now. Also, we talk about overkill. I don't think this game has it, but the original version of Woho, the way it stored player which button you were held was in 1 byte. So we'd had like, you know, 0, whatever. We literally just did like bitwise operations to insert, like if this was your up key, this was your down key, this was left, this was right, A, B, start, select, whatever, Z. We stored them in 1 byte. And then when you were doing a, like conflicting movement, so like up and down, I think it would do like a null movement script and it would like invert. So you start moving the other way instead of just stopping, which was sick. Complete overkill, but that was cool. You can still do collidables, also collidables. Though for it seems like everything acts as a bullet if it hits something. Let's just do everything for now. Oh. So I'm gonna do a quad tree.test. We want to pass in... Oh, you know what? Let's fill it first, because we need to work out how to do that. We want to get AABB of. So here, I'm guessing we're going to have to iterate. Do we have to iterate over everything twice? Like once to fill the tree and then once to use it? Because that seems expensive. Ooh. So for every entity with a collision and transform, watch tree at some position, or push front something. We're going to want to, guess, put the entity in there. And the position will be AABB of, was it transform? We want to get a circle out of transform. Or can you maybe perform that already? Oh, I have to turn you into a circle. So it has to be anything with a collision. So we have to create a circle based off of where it is and its collision hull size. Sorry if this isn't how you construct it, but you know, there would be some place and then there would be a radius would be collision dot radius. And then you'd be like a donut circle or something. O2n is a whole lot better than O2n squared. That's true. That's true. Complexity analysis, O2n isn't even considered different from ON. Yeah. Fair enough. I see the double loop and it raises a red flag, even if it's not necessarily the wrong thing to do. I think it's a good habit to be wary of loops. Especially identical loops. Alright, how do I construct a circle here based off a position and a radius? Because I should imagine a circle has a position on the screen and a size. But I guess a circle is actually just the top left and the top right. Is that how you're constructing it? No, I'm trying to say that you're afloat. Maybe this is fun. I can label them as well. Series of independent loops, that's basically all the program is. That is. You understand why I raise flags at least when I see loops there, right? I guess more loops within loops is a greater flag, but regardless. We're constructing a data type and then using it, so they should be in separate loops. Want to get that concurrent modification problems, huh? Or problems from trying to do checks when the data type isn't filled. That would be stupid. Okay. Is that it? Is that filled? Do you feel filled? You full? You hungry? I think so. Yeah, this seems pretty easy. So we do a quadtree.test in here. I'm guessing that's going to be, does it return a bool? Or do we have to use a callback? Hello? I hear knocking. Crystal Gaming? It's still a lead. Maybe it's the song. Maybe you guys heard knocking in the song? How about this test? We've got a callback and it returns an auto. So it returns void if the callback... Okay, hang on, we've got to use a bit of a brain here. Hang on. The bool by itself won't be very useful, you have to use the callback. So it's just if it fails. We return something, right? Callback function to be a void or a bool that specifies. A value of true means to stop. Give you the actual entity ID. The return of the actual function then is void if the callback function returns a void. True if it returns bool and exited early, so maybe from an error. False if it returned bool and didn't exit early. Like, is that maybe not so useful on me? Oh, they throw errors. It's just weird to me to have both a callback and a return value. I've never seen that before. you always either have the callback because maybe it's an asynchronous function and you want to still have a fucking Pyramid of Doom to call back to that lad later, or you return so you can use it in line. The doubling up is weird to me. The non-callback version just tells you if anything was hit at all. Gotcha. I still find it weird, but fine. Is this something you've seen a lot in C++? Does the standard library do this? So we're going to check collision point is going to be, I guess it'll just be transform. And then what is the syntax for this callback? Collided? Oops. I'm just making this up. I don't know what I'm meant to fill in here. This test function is... Callback just takes me back to type name callback. Does it just return... Oh, it returns an entity ID, I guess. Right? Do I have to do this? The default argument for the callback always returns true. Okay. You're reminding me of another language. Kotlin? Or Swift? Or fucking Rust? But one of them was trying to resolve the problem that people had with Java with returning error names. Because a lot of people would return an error type that was both some error enum and then also a message. And then also handle if that wasn't returned, so it would kind of be an optional. And I think some language resolved that in a really nice way. I don't know what it was. But it basically handled this issue of you have multiple potential returns from a statement. You can either have the correct happy flow, or a sad flow, or a fuck knows exception. And you could handle that all in one, instead of having to return a tuple. I think it might have still been a tuple of some kind, but whatever. Oh, you're just angry because the syntax is wrong. No matching. Oh, do I need to do does C++ have like this? And that's a Kotlin thing. Like, I kind of don't care about the return. You added it for convenience in case all you care about is whether or not a point is inside an object or not. Okay. Can I convert transform to a vec2? Oh shit, sorry. Now what? No type named type. I mean, I can get rid of these square brackets, right? You hate that. You don't need that? You do need that. What's up? You're a vec3. Vec3 can be passed as a vec2, right? Or do I have to explicitly say vec2? I kind of thought maybe there would be magic there. Oh, it's a standard forward list, you're right. I forgot. Sorry. A return is a reference, is it? So I guess it doesn't need to be a copy, that would be silly. You like that? Hang on a moment. Is the type still wrong? Is it because it's a reference or no? Oh, it doesn't like the reference thing. It has to be constant compile. Okay, that works. And variable has incomplete type const void. And it has no discard. Oh no, it doesn't have no discard. It was the other one that had no discard. Who cares? Yes, discard in this time. Is there a way to ignore no discards? Is it just a compiler warning? Can you just disable it? So in this case, we maybe have a collision. And then what, we just chuck this fucking collision code in there and just hope it works. Oh, we need to pass this in, I guess. You can have a reference if you like. You can be a reference too. We can have as much as we want in our fucking lambda. It's beautiful. I feel like maybe I should just pass in this, if that's okay. Can I do a list reference? What's my hitbox? Oh, you know, passing. I thought there's something like this. Okay, that works. But then we need to modify this statement a bit. So at this point, we have some list of things to collide with. So instead of this all collidables variable, I'm guessing that we go through our entity list. Or, I don't know, const auto reference collided entity. Oh, maybe collided entity in entity list dot iterate dot all. I don't remember the syntax of this. We've got a big list of entities that we might have collided with, as opposed to at this point, do I need to do this for loop each? Are you wait, hang on. Are all collidables just a set of entities? No, it's a view. I'm just working out how I want to collide with this stuff. How I want to return this stuff. Because ideally, I think I'd like to get a view. I'd like to get a view on all of these entities. I'd like to have their collisions and transforms. You can still call it your entity to be consistent. You'd have to fetch your collision and your transform for the entity instead of by iterator. Oh, fine. That's fine. So I guess we just directly do get, right? What is it? Registry.get. We want to get collision of ID of your entity. So I'll say the const is fine. Your collision. Is that okay? We want to get your transform as well. Capital T. So now we have our loop. I think then we just take this inner little section. Maybe that's it. That's a good song, by the way. This is the Gensokyo Radio classic. In general, the whole, like, house set by, Shibyo? These were all bangers. This might be it. It looks promising, right? Is this still needed? There's no Clang format rule on comments. Let's find out, lads. It's only taken another hour, but not bad, huh? Alright, it hasn't crashed. Hang on, I need to make the treasure mouse spawn within this universe. Random radius, you're gonna be random radius. You're actually gonna be within fucking 10 and 5. I hit F5, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm hitting them. They're getting hit. All right, let's see if the game still. I mean, I'm guessing the game will still lag, right? Or no? Oh, it's not lagging. Oh, no, it is. It's lagging less, though. There's a lot of, like, Kiwi copters, I'm gonna be real with you. Oh, every time I spawn a player bullet, this goes fucking mental. Whoa, it's still actually playable with, like, this much shit on the screen. That's pretty impressive. And this is in debug mode. Maybe this is good enough for now. Hang on, let's just spawn, like, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This is, like, very typical in a game, like 20 enemies. And these are shooting from across the map, right? Imagine in a lot of games, the enemies will not be shooting you from across outside of the screen. This is good fucking Toho practice, dude. I feel like the walls should probably be destroyed. Oh look, they do have a death timer on them. Like they stop existing after some amount of time. Debug is definitely holding it back, considering it's having to hold on to all of these. I'm not about to build it for release though. Character's so fast. You know what I could do? I could just set my collision radius to like 0. I can't think they'll collide with it. I could set my respawn time's already really high. Biggest optimization would be to make the forward list use a better allocator. How would that work? Oh, you can still get collided with a 0. I guess it's still just checking nearby. Debug holds it back a lot. Oh yeah, I mean we've ran stuff in release before, and it is like thousands of FPS. And I imagine you've seen the exact same thing, right? So honestly, I think this is good enough. We saw how unplayable it was earlier, pre-Quad Tree World. It's kind of a pain that there's not an easy way to switch back and confirm. It's not like I did a commit that I'm going to undo, but we saw on stream that I spawned in a lot less than this, and it was going crazy style. This is perfectly fine. I mean, I have a good PC, mind you, but what do you want from me? Nuclear Throne is Game Maker. Everything's in a list. And that game is just fine. There's a little laggy later on, obviously, but that's where this would succeed, I think. The insanely aggressive particles are so fucking funny. Alright, well, that's a huge success. You could try changing it to standard PMR forward list and handling a pointer to it to... Okay, on the stack. Let's... Oh, I just mouse forward and I got on a board. Awesome. Okay, MGUI doesn't like mouse buttons. Now I learned. You want to ditch ECS when trying to rewrite OOP first, and you were disappointed at the frame rate. Change to release, it has much higher FPS. Yeah, it's fucking awesome. I love ECS. It's so magical. I've done a lot of game dev stuff in the past. Like as a kid, I spent so many years fucking around in Game Maker, and that is the most inefficient thing on the planet. And then last time we worked on this WoHo thing, we were doing data-driven design, which was still a little oopy in places, but it was very data-y. But ECS on this has been amazing. Holy shit. Like the way that we do the pause menu is we just swap out all the systems and swap in some new ones, and then when we play the game, you swap them around. It just works. You want something to respawn, you just give it the respawn component. It is amazing. Oh my god. I love it. It's so cool. I wish we could use it all the time for everything, but I'm sure there's issues with it. But for game dev, it's amazing. It's just perfect. Anyway, yeah, it's 1 AM, lads. It's been 3.5 hours of work. Do you think this is a good time to stop? Like, I've accomplished everything I wanted to do, which is incredible. Rare. We got this debug menu working. I don't know if you remembered. We did that at the start. You know, you can see your changes live. You can fucking get stuck in a corner and... Terrible time to stop, is it? I was considering playing Spire today, but I kind of thought this would be more fun. I've been thinking about it all year. Whee! I also have a little bit more time off these days, so I was going to do more game development stuff like in my off time. What I could do is do like the creative stuff like off stream, or at least like coming up with character designs and game balance and how I want the game to work, because that stuff's slow and thoughtful. I need to fucking write shit in a notepad. I can do sprite design and stuff on stream, but just coming up with the basic ideas we can keep off stream, because it's just me sitting thinking. Yeah, it's just quite boring. But we can do the interesting programming stuff on the stream, and stitch it all together. I can show you. I can be like, hey guys, I've designed a new character, whatever. Best to do this when you can. Yeah, I think people like the Woho. I really like it. But it takes a lot for me to do it, if that makes sense. Like, it is really hard to come home from work and program. Honestly. So, I mean, it's a Saturday, that's partially why. Holy shit, they're going crazy style. This is where you like it. That's awesome. So yeah, we've got that, we've got the menu working, and we got enemies working, and then the quad tree, and huge progress, honestly, massive. One of the most progresses we've made. And I'm amazed that the quad tree thing just kind of worked, I'll be honest. I know you were here helping me through every step of the way, but this is nothing. So as an API, awesome, banging work. Very user-friendly. I'm sure that implementing the actual tree itself was not quite so easy, but I thought we were going to have to fuck around with coordinate space and stuff, and things wouldn't quite collide. I guess it makes sense, because the tree doesn't care what multiplication you apply to this float. Like, it doesn't care if it's in some grid pattern or in some other float. Like, they just work. As long as everything's within the same coordinate space, I guess it doesn't matter. Chrono Gear stream would be cool. Yeah, I liked it. Maybe I'll pick it up at some point. I recommended it to the guys, actually. And then they didn't trust me, because I play games for 2 minutes, then leave. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. Next time, let's work a little bit on some really basic enemy AI. Just some plodding around, like some state machine stuff, you know, plodding around, pausing, having a break, seeing the player, shooting them. Maybe we can implement some very basic line of sight. Nothing fancy, just, you know, every now and then do a check to see if the player's visible. That could be the stretch goal, and then maybe we could have a debug menu to change the enemy view home. That's a distant thought. First steps will just be having them wander around and occasionally stopping. I think they shouldn't be shooting the player the moment they spawn. And then that just gives us something to work from. Because having like a really basic, like having the basic bullet where it just shoots where you some angle, that's really nice. You can build off that. Basic aimed angle, that's nice as well. Having a basic movement AI where they just plod around with the state would be good to build on. And then we can try and think about some actual game. But that's for me to worry about. I hope you enjoyed the stream then. I'm going to head off. Have a lovely night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with something else. Bye-bye. Good night. See ya.